It's helpful. Ready.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to call our March meeting to order. If you would, please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. First item on our agenda is our auditor's financial report. Jennifer.
Okay, so for the general fund financial statement, we began the year with a beginning balance of $4,703,547 available. You have not granted any additional appropriations to date. You have a request before you today from the general fund of $15,645. And after subtracting out some miscellaneous expenditures of $7,831, you have $4,695,716 available for appropriation. As far as revenues go, again, I mentioned this last month, January, February, kind of light as far as revenues coming in. We haven't had any property tax billing or collection yet, and then it's not really the season for permitting. So overall, we are at 8.4% collected, but even though that's lower than where we are at the year, I don't feel like it's a concern yet. As far as fund balances, didn't have anything particular about any one fund to point out, but I did make some notes, at least on the screen. I have 2 or 3 funds that I'm wondering if at some point down the road we want to set a minimum for. We've had a minimum on some of our funds for a while now, and just maybe should revisit those, make sure that they're in line with where you think they should be. But one of them is for the Lit Public Safety Fund, possibly set a minimum there. Also maybe 911, and then I had one more, the Workers' Comp Self-Insurance Fund. So if that's something that we would want to talk about in a future meeting, and just wanted to bring that to your attention. And then lastly, with Sharon's help, we've identified some funds that have been dormant for several years, looking around 3 to 10 years. If they've not had any activity, we are looking to close those out, talk to the department, see if they're comfortable with that, and then kind of have a plan with what the money could be used for. In some cases, they would go to the general fund. Other cases, they might go to the department's donation fund so that they could spend it as needed. In most cases, these are grants that have just been closed out, audited, and are done. So that's all I had as far as the fund balance report. I did include a Lit Public Safety analysis in the packet, not so much to say anything about any agenda items today, but just to kind of give you a heads up that it's something to think about going into budget time. And that was all I had.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Jennifer? Hearing none, we will move on to our treasurer's report.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We ended February with account balance of $160,277,443.72 and an interest of $512,655.73. The average interest rate this February was 4.83, almost a quarter percent increase from last month. I think we're expecting rates to continue to climb. So that's all I have for today.
Any questions about the treasurer's report? Hearing none, we'll move on. Are there any public comments concerning our agenda items before us this morning? Commissioner Byers.
Yeah, I really do want to reemphasize what Jennifer just kind of said, this lit public safety. We need to get a grasp of it. And I don't know whether you as council need to kind of say, let the commissioners run it like Kim Cap or eat it, or if you want two people who are truly dedicated on it. We're getting too much personnel in there, and that recurs every year. And prime example, our sewage project out at the jail. We couldn't touch that to do this project, and that was put together for some more bricks and mortar and equipment and things like that. We know down the road we got $1 million roof that needs to be replaced out at the jail. We need to get a hold of it. And so I don't know if you as council want to pick two people to say, you are officially in charge of this fund and go with it, or you want to say, all right, commissioners, run it like QMCAP and eat it and feed it accordingly, but we need to get a hold of it. So I just want to reemphasize what Jennifer said. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? If not, we'll move on to our consent agenda. Are there any items that are listed there that need to be removed for further consideration or discussion? And if not, I'll take a motion to approve the consent agenda, which also includes our minutes from our February 14th meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Murray, a second from Councilman Richard, to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. Next, we have additional appropriations. First up, Superior Court 2, Judge Meyer.
Motion for approval for Superior Court 2, General Fund 1,000, appropriation for pauper attorney, an amount of $15,645.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilwoman Hamilton, a second from Councilman Murray, to approve the additional appropriation for Superior Court 2 in the amount of $15,645. Discussion. Good morning.
Thank you. That's Steve Meyer, Judge of Superior 2. I sort of apologize to you for coming so early in the year and asking for a special appropriation. Usually that's done by the end of the year, but I find myself in an unusual situation that I didn't really anticipate when I sat down with the council representatives crafting our budget for 23. I'd forgotten we are presiding over a murder case that involves 4 or 5 different defendants. And because of the interaction with all of them, a lot of them are conflicted out, so the public defender's office maybe is representing one of them, but then we have to have private counsel representing the others. And so that's going to be a pretty big expense as we go forward. I think the case is still set for trial sometime this year. But we recently received a bill from one of the attorneys for one of the defendants, and it was for his work done most of last year, but it didn't come in until last month. And that alone was about $13,000. That, in addition to, I recently had to appoint public defenders, I recently had to approve public defender costs for 2 attorneys in a very high-profile case that's coming to trial here next month. The co-defendant in that case, it was a week-long trial, and so I expect that this case will also be a week-long trial. That's going to be a pretty significant expense. So basically, we're out of money so far. We've unfortunately used most of our pauper counsel fund. And so I'm asking for the $15,000 today to cover the back bill that I mentioned for the one of the murder defendants, and then some additional expenses. But I'm probably going to have to sit down with our council reps, with Jody and Lisa, and talk about a larger amount instead of having to come back every month, because I anticipate we're going to need to review that account. So with that, I would appreciate your support and approval of this.
Thank you. Any other discussion or questions from council? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. Next, we have the prosecutor.
Thank you very much.
Do we want to? Yeah, well, if we're going to withdraw, do we need to have a motion?
I think a motion to hear it, maybe. They normally make a motion to hear it first.
Okay.
Should they do that?
Motion to hear it.
Okay. All right. Then I put a motion to hear the prosecutor, Patrick Harrington, for Lit Public Funding Fund 1170 appropriation in the amount of $73,378.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilwoman Hamilton, a second from Councilman Murray, to hear the public safety funding request for $73,378. Discussion.
Good morning.
Morning.
First, just a slight change. We'd like to change that to my general fund, 5920, which I already have money in it for the year that will carry this position, and move it out of lit, given what the commissioner just said about these larger expenses that are coming. And this was discussed with the Personnel Committee yesterday, too. This position is desperately needed in our system. We have over 77 staff members who use computers. We have approximately 20-plus different softwares that we have to use. We have to know, we have to monitor, we have to be able to be efficient. And this person will have the knowledge to run all this software. It's not what MITS or DoIT does. This is in our office softwares. And to give you an idea of these different systems, we have to be proficient and be able to link up with the Indiana Bureau of Motor Vehicles, Indiana State Police Lab, Indiana Department of Toxicology, Odyssey, Prosecutor Case Management System, Caliber RMS, Central Care RMS, Axon RMS, AxonEvidence.com, Body-Worn Camera Systems, Avail Ultimate Body-Worn Camera Systems, Avail Ultimate Witness, LexisNexis, Offender Watch, DocuWare, Tyler Host, DocsPop, Pacer Federal Court Case Summary and Record System, Indiana Supreme Court of Technology, GoToMeetings, Tippecanoe Prosecutors Online Traffic Referral Portal, and other applications. So what's happening now is we have a glitch. We don't know we can't get the system to work, the software to work. It stops our lawyers from doing their jobs, our legal assistant from doing their jobs. We have to call usually Sean Leshny to come from High Tech Crime Unit, takes him away from his job, and try to work this out. We process over 10,000 hours of body cam a year. Which means we have to be able to download or observe it, send it to the defense attorneys. We have to prepare it for trial. In trial, we have to fix any issues when computers don't work, like in the middle of a trial. It just happened in Superior Court 1 where the system wouldn't work. They ultimately called Kent to come over, but that would have been something this person would be able to do. They would make sure that whatever we're doing in court, they go over and run it before we get in front of the jury, make sure all systems are good. Sometimes we have to have a clean computer, which means a computer not hooked up to the internet, so when jurors have to watch the evidence on the computers, they can take what's called a clean computer into the jury room. They can't connect to the internet, they can't do any searches, but it just runs the evidence. And the judges ask us to do that too. So this position is well overdue for us. We have to be able to index and keep track of all those thousands of hours of information in the system. It also includes video evidence we get from doorbell, Ring doorbell, Blink. All the individual businesses have their own security system. They have their own software. We have to download that. We have to learn how to use it inside the office. And then we have to be able to process what they have on theirs. So this is a person that will absolutely is necessary to run our office in today's day and age with all these different software systems. Questions?
Questions from council?
So based on past recommendation of using general fund, then I wish to withdraw the motion that I made for approval for this appropriation.
Is that okay with you, Ben?
Yeah, I'll second the
Okay.
withdrawal.
So we will withdraw that motion, and then do you want to move on the salary statement then for the position, knowing that it's coming from the general fund?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So motion for approval for the salary statement for the new position of Application System Support Specialist, PAT 3, in the amount of $53,623.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilwoman Hamilton second from Councilman Murray, to approve the Applications System Support Specialist, PAT 3, in the amount of $53,623 in that salary statement. Discussion. Guess you've already said what you needed to about that. Discussion from council or questions, further questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. Next, we have an appropriation from the Fund 9271.
Yes, motion to approve the IPAC HTCU Fund 9271 appropriation for other supplies in the amount of $1,039.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilwoman Hamilton, a second from Councilman Murray, to approve the Fund 9271 appropriation in the amount of $1,039. Discussion.
Thank you. This is money we received from the federal government for our role in the Ashton Lunaby investigation. This is the juvenile from like 2015 who was using the internet to spoof Purdue University, Florida State, Boston University, other universities, make them think there was an on-campus active shooting going to happen. It was a juvenile who lived in South Bend, Indiana. He was prosecuted in federal court and convicted, and this is part of the restitution he was ordered to repay. So it's coming back to basically reimburse us for our expenses and time that the high-tech crime unit did in that investigation. And by the way, it shows the value of the high-tech crime unit. Just think if that the individual was successful in making on the ground law enforcement to think there was an active shooter in a university classroom. And he was 16 years old.
Any questions or discussion from council? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. Next, we have an additional salary statement for part-time attorney.
Motion for approval for salary statement part-time rate for part-time attorney in the amount of $50 to $70 per hour.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilwoman Hamilton, a second from Councilman Murray, to approve the salary statement for the part-time rate of $50 to $70 per hour. Discussion.
Thank you. This is would be for a part-time attorney. We currently do not have any on staff, but we have a possibility of having a person interested. 50 to 70, just so you know, when a private lawyer is appointed by the courts, their hourly rate is $70 an hour out of court, 95 in court. So we're kind of in that gap that's allowed by the courts right now.
Okay. Any questions or discussion from council? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Next, we have lit public safety appropriation from TEMA.
I'll make a motion that we approve the appropriation from Lit Public Safety Fund 1170 for vehicles for TEMA in the amount of $15,658.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilwoman Vernon, a second from Councilman Murray, to approve the lit public safety fund appropriation for $15,658 for vehicles. Discussion.
Good morning. When we did our budget in the summer of '21, we requested $45,400, which was approved. We ordered the truck in December of that year, and in November of last year, they told us they couldn't fulfill the truck order. We had to reorder it, which we did. And I guess I don't have the exact date. Whenever I sent my email is when they gave us the price. We probably lowballed it, not having any idea, but we bought the same exact truck for $34,100 in 2018. Now we're paying $21,100 more, five years later for the exact truck. And they don't know when we'll get it. This will replace the truck that I'm driving now, which will go into the fleet, which then will replace a 2000 Ford F-250.
Okay. Discussion or questions from council? Part of inflation. All right.
Thank you.
All those in favor, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved.
Thanks.
Next, we have Fund 9645 from Carrie Holm.
Make a motion, we approve the Parent Project Fund 9645 grant appropriation in the amount of $9,000.
Second?
I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Murray, a second from Councilwoman Hamilton, to approve the Fund 9645 grant appropriation in the amount of $9,000. Discussion.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is a grant from Community Partners through Bauer Family Resources, ultimately through the Department of Child Services, that will fund facilitators to teach a parenting group, specifically geared for for adolescents with destructive behaviors. It's due to start April 4th with your approval of this funding. We have 5 certified trainers who will be offering this 10-week program on a rotating basis to our community.
Okay, any questions or discussion from council? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Fund 4118 for the Health Department.
Make a motion, we approve Donation Fund 4118 appropriation in the amount of $2,775.
Second?
I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Murray, a second from Councilwoman Hamilton, to approve the Donation Fund 4118 appropriation in the amount of $2,775. Discussion.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is a $2,000 donation from Walmart, and then a couple of smaller donations for our baby shower, community baby shower that we'll have in May. So they've been generous to donate, so.
Okay. Any questions or discussion from council? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. Next, we have a salary statement reclassification.
Make a motion, we approve the salary statement reclassification for a case manager, Comet 3 to a Comet 4 in the amount of $48,063.
Second?
I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Murray, a second from Councilwoman Hamilton, to approve the salary statement reclassification for case manager in the amount of $48,063. Discussion.
She currently works with our lead cases and our femur team. And lead cases alone, she has 40 open cases right now. She's completed 2 this month, and we have billed out 10 last month. So it's big. So she's definitely working.
Okay. Any questions or discussion from council?
This did go through the Personnel Committee and through all the proper channels, and the committee did recommend this change in classification.
Okay. Thank you, Kathy. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have the salary statement, new position for highway.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the salary statement for the program engineer from the highway that has been pre-approved by personnel.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Basham, a second from Councilman Richard, to approve the program engineer exec 1 salary statement for highway in the amount of $96,983. Discussion.
Yeah, this is a new position, the program engineer. It's a licensed engineer, minimum 5 years experience. We're requiring bridge and road design experience. The idea is a position that will allow 2 engineers in the office. We can do in-house design on our smaller road and culvert bridge repair projects. So it should make us a little more efficient.
Okay. Any questions or discussion from council?
Again, as you can see, this did go through Personnel in January and was approved.
Okay.
And then the
Thank you, Kathy.
commissioners.
If there's no other discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have the Sheriff's Department E911 Fund appropriation.
So I'd like to make a motion that we approve the E911 Fund 1222 appropriation in the amount submitted.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilwoman Vernon, a second from Councilman Murray, to approve the E911 Fund 1222 appropriation of $1,150,304, or is it 303?
It added up to 304, so that's what I advertised.
Okay, I saw the 303 up there, that's why I was, okay, in the amount? on your paper of 304. Discussion.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is an appropriation that's kind of a follow-through from last year. So in August of 2022, we appropriated money for the Lafayette Police Public Safety Building. Those bills did not come through. We weren't able to encumber that money from the appropriation from last year. So this is to cover that additional appropriation for the funds for the public safety building, as well as West Lafayette's console expansion that took place at their dispatch facility.
Okay, thank you. Questions or discussion from council? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, that is approved. Next, we have Fund 9603 appropriation.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Law Enforcement Assist Fund 9603 appropriation safety in the amount presented.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilwoman Vernon, a second from Councilman Murray, to approve the Law Enforcement Assistant Fund 9603 appropriation in the amount of $11,960. Discussion.
Thank you. This is part of our Drug-Free Coalition grant that was granted to the Sheriff's Office. This is to cover cost of a canine and for a flock license plate reader system. That appropriation or money will be used for crime-related investigations associated with the Sheriff's Office.
Okay. Questions or discussion from council? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, that is approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have committee reports. Any of those to be presented this morning? Any unfinished business? And no other new business, is there? None. Okay. Commissioner FYI. Commissioner Murtaugh.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, just a couple of announcements. The e-waste collection day will be on April 1st at the fairgrounds. This will be the second time it's been held at the fairgrounds. It was overwhelmingly, and I do mean overwhelmingly, successful last year. We're going to revamp this setup this year to hope in hopes it will operate just a little bit smoother. That will be an all-day event. It will run from 8 o'clock till 4 o'clock that day. And it's going to be e-waste, paper, meds. What am I forgetting? E-waste, paper, meds. Seems like there was something else we're collecting. That's paper. Yeah. Yeah. Huh, okay. Also, on March 2nd, an RFP for an independent engineering service for the ABC wastewater went out, so we will be doing interviews and doing that selection at a later date. This, actually today, is the official start of Purdue's Road School. So the restaurants will be busier, hotels will be packed. If you see folks out in restaurants, please welcome them to the community. There's about 3,000 people here for that event. And last, but certainly not least, we do have an update on that pipe burst at the jail, and I'll introduce Tony Dildine and Gary Williams to do that update.
Good morning. It's been a while since you've seen me up here, huh?
Yes, it's been a while.
So unfortunately, here we are with an expensive project, unexpected expensive project. Didn't know what we were really getting ourselves into. We proposed $500,000 for this project. We're just shy about $80,000 from meeting that into that monies. So it's been challenging, disruptive to the jail and facility, but we're getting closer. We are in our 11th week with the project, and from there, I'm just going to let Mr. Gary Williams, he's the president of WW Contracting. He's been doing the work.
Good morning. My name's Doug Williams, but I am the president of WW Contracting. Any questions you want to go over?
Any questions from council?
What happened? Sewer collapsed? I heard a rumor about it.
Yes, it's ductile iron, and at some point in time, we went in the first day, we thought we was going to just do a repair. It's approximately 10 foot plus or minus down from finished floor. So we removed the floor, cut down, and we started, there's a Y right at the kitchen. And when we cut the floor loose, the concrete floor actually fell. The sand underneath the floor basically went into the pipe, and I think that's what, started the problems. And then we believe that there's just so much chemical coming out of that kitchen that it's basically ate that pipe up. Our pressure washing system with the vac truck, we're running about 1,100 PSI, so less than you'd have at your house. And we were just spraying over top of it, and the pipe was just disintegrating. We were worried about going in and jetting the rest of the pipe because we thought it would disappear. And as far as we've been, it would have. I mean, then we would have had major problems because you would have had the pods, basically into sand. So.
And how old would you estimate all these pipes are?
I think the jail was built 32 years ago.
Yeah, it's the original, built in 89-90. So if you could take that times 2, really, because it's a 24/7 operation, water's continually running through these lines for the most part, whether it's kitchen, laundry, it's showers. It's it's a heavily used pipe, and like Gary said, it's in much worse condition than we anticipated.
There's the pipe laying on the ground. You can see, and there's a photo of the first connection, and I mean, we were just blowing it apart with 1,100 PSI.
Are we concerned about any other areas that may be in a similar state of repair? And then, if you are, what's kind of the plan to make sure that they don't repeat history?
So, as Mr. Williams here, his crew was going through and replacing these lines, there's several taps that's coming into the sides of these lines, and from those taps, he jetted those and cleaned those out as far as he can go with his equipment, including, so that's mop sinks, laundry, whatever leads into the pods. We do not know the condition of those pipes, but I assume they're in pretty good shape because the kitchen and all those detergents, chemicals do not go into those areas. So where he has made connections with these taps, it's been good pipe that goes into those areas, if you will. So we're on a final phase here. We're getting close. In the final phase, we've replaced all the pipe going down the main corridor, if you will, the main artery of the jail. And we're to the hub, if you're familiar with the jail. And from the hub out, which goes underneath B-seg outside, we do not know the condition of that pipe. We do know that it's completely compacted and full with junk. So they are going to jet that and clean it today and scope it and find out the condition of that pipe. We are thinking that it's going to be in good shape. But the question is that we're going to present, he's getting a quote to line those pipes to finish it, because that is it, with a 2-part epoxy product. And the problem that's going to bring us is that we'll have to set up 2 to 3 days with no water running through the jail. So how do we do that? Well, we don't know. So we will get back with you on that once we do more investigation.
You alluded to my question. We use Stitchiform, and what we did, we had a pipe, but you said it was so compacted you can't do it. What we did, we'd blow in fiberglass, liquid fiberglass, and it would set up, and that would seal the inside of that pipe. Used in big sewers.
That's basically what we're getting a quote to do.
Yeah, up to 27
So-
inches. That looks like an 8-inch line.
It's a 6.
It's a 6?
Where we're at right now is an 8-inch. Yes.
You're going to try to
We replaced
line
the
it?
6-inch, but where between the sewer and where we're at right now, it changes to an 8-inch.
What kind of material are you using to for the replacement?
Scheduled 40 PVC. So,
Thick stuff.
Okay.
So what I'm hearing is there'll be a request for more money coming down the line once we get the final bill.
yes, but probably not too much more than what we're needing, what we have now. I can imagine no more than 100,000. So, because we are really kind of at the final stage of this project, with the exception of what I just spoke on.
Yeah.
I can't believe they didn't use PVC. I see those elbows and that Y. What in the world happened?
Well, John, that's a $100 million question because people are still using that material.
Huh.
But I recommend for our buildings moving forward, we use nothing but PVC.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Good
Okay.
job.
Anything else from council? Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. Any public comment for us this morning? If not, note our next meeting is April 11th, and I will take the last motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.